Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Poker Showdown, brought to you by Party Poker. I'm your host, Jamie Staples. This week, we had an amazing conversation with Sam Trickett. He tells some incredible stories in this 30 minutes that we spent talking. I mean, just some craziness. I don't want to spoil anything, so make sure you stick around and listen to what he has to say. But before we get into that convo, let's talk about some of the online poker news that's been going on this week. Let's start it off talking a little bit of PowerFest going on Party Poker right now. PowerFest has been extended. It was the main event this past Sunday, but it's been extended for another week. So it continues on when you're probably listening to this. There's a couple days left. 8 main events beat their guarantee. 2.38 million was awarded of the initial guarantees, which totaled 1.6 million. So incredible result there. Team Party Poker Sam Trickett, the guy that we're interviewing in this podcast, won $104,000 in the 150K guaranteed PLO 6max event, which is a $5,000 buy-in. He won from a field of 52 players where the prize pool was $260,000 and only the top 6 places cashed. Team Party Poker's Yanni Jokenmainen, I still haven't figured out exactly how to say your name, Yanni, finished 4th place, winning $23,000, adding to his victory in the 100K guaranteed PLO 6max as well. Little bit of industry news going on here. We got to give a shout out to PokerStars. The Sunday Million has attracted more than 23,000 players this past Sunday. Number of entrants was about twice as many as usual. Every player at the final table won at least 5 figures, and the prize pool was 2.3 million. So that is a very big tournament. Congrats to them on that. Biggest one actually since the buy-in has been cut in half from $215 to $109. Also, in some more industry news here, PokerStars founder pled guilty to running unlawful internet gaming business. This being Isai Scheinberg, who was taken into custody in January. Scheinberg was indicted on gambling and bank fraud and money laundering charges in 2011. According to the Department of Justice, Scheinberg admitted that he knew operating a business that offered internet poker to New Yorkers violated state law, and it was a clear position of the U.S. government that offering online poker in the United States violated federal law. Scheinberg is yet to be sentenced. So I used to work with PokerStars, and I never had the opportunity to meet Isai Scheinberg because he never owned the company when I was there. But I do have to say that I haven't heard a single industry person speak negatively of Isai Scheinberg before. And in fact, a lot of people I respect in the industry and look up to speak very positively of him and what he did to contribute to our game. So, you know, I'm not really in the know on this, but it seems like a shame that he may find himself in a little bit of legal issues here. So we'll bring you more news on that story as it comes. The mobile cash games now available in portrait mode. Players can now play cash games on mobile using only one hand across the heads up and 6MX games. Cash game lobby has been redesigned to display all games on offer in tiled or carousel view, and players can mix and match between cash games, fast forward, and spins. Samao is looking forward to more action for PowerFest. Zhao Samao made 2 final tables on the first Sunday of the festival, placing 2nd in the 100K guaranteed 8max, winning $24,000, finishing 5th in the 100K guaranteed PLO, winning just over $19,000. Samao says that the fields were tough and full of great players that don't make mistakes very often. Samao told Poker News it felt great waking up after the weekend. The schedule was so varied with many options, including 6max, PKO, PLO, PLO 8, meaning they're just so many attractive tournaments. So congratulations, Zhao Samao, who I know has won so many PowerFest events over his career. Like, it's pretty incredible. So I'd like to just win one, get started there. I think he's won like 8 or 9 or something crazy. Congratulations, Zhao. Keep it going, man. So now that's it for the online poker news, industry news, party poker stuff. Let's jump into the interview with Sam Trickett. One of these answers just blew my mind, dude. It's incredible. The life this guy leads. Like, it's just pretty amazing, inspiring, I think. So without further ado, enjoy this conversation with Sam Trickett. This week, joining me on the podcast, we have a legend of the game, the UK scene, a guy that I remember looking up to when I first started playing back in like 2009, 2010, and you just like rocketed to success. We have Sam Trickett. Sam, thanks for taking the time today.
Hello, everyone.
So I wanted to kick off that there's so many stories about your origin, but I remember listening to Jeff Gross's conversation with you about playing football when you were growing up, and sort of that was your first passion. So I just wanted to go back to when you took that knee injury and it was clear that you were going to sort of shift focus. How did you find poker from there and like develop into the pro you are today?
I was quite fortunate, really. my friend at the time, Chris Sly, was running a poker event, and I met him playing with Retford United. He was in the first team, Retford United. He's a bit older than me. And he was a gambler, and I was a bit of a gambler. I used to play fruit machines, so I was like already introduced to gambling from a young age. Yeah, he just said, do you want to come and play a poker tournament? I run it at the pub. It's a £20 one. I think I was about 18, and that was basically around the same time I got injured. So it was I was just basically learning how to play as I got injured. And yeah, I did it in a cup final, snapped my cruciate ligament, and all my life I thought that's what I was going to do. I was for sure going to be a footballer, so I didn't really have plan B, and I didn't really listen at school. I didn't have the attention span to listen to anything the teacher said. Right. Nothing really stimulated me. So yeah, I was a bit unsure what the hell I was going to do, to be honest. So I just worked a few jobs for a bit of money, and yeah, it was obviously gutting, heart-wrenching. It's my first love and all I wanted to do, and it still right now upsets me that I can't even play with my mates on Sunday league. But it's like I missed that whole aspect of it. But on the other hand, it's like it was kind of one of the luckiest things that ever happened to me, because it made me go and find poker and really put everything into poker. And I wouldn't have been as good at football or as successful at football as I would have been at poker. So, you know, as gutting as it was almost like a big strike of luck, or stroke of luck, I should say, because it found poker, and I really enjoy poker, and I've been lucky enough to be where I am today, playing in these games and still enjoying it as well. Like, because the thing is why I wanted to play poker, be a footballer, is because I wanted to do something that I enjoyed. It didn't feel like a job. So I was lucky to find poker where, again, I enjoy it, and it doesn't feel like work to me. Absolutely.
And do some of the skills from football and like playing on a team and stuff, did they transfer over to poker immediately, or did you like find a struggle? Like, was there swings in the start of your career, or did you have success early?
I was doing quite well early. Like, yeah, the first tournament I played, I didn't even know the rules, and I went through half the field or something like that. But on my last hand that I got knocked out, I was like, I know what I did wrong, and I won't do that again. So I was like, I want to play again now, because I know I won't do that wrong again. I might go further. And then like the second time I played, I made the final, and then the third time I won it, and then the fourth and the fifth time I won it 3 times in a row. I was like, wow, this is getting easier and easier, these decisions. And it was like, so I realized I was, well, not good. I realized I was just better than the players I was playing against, who had been playing longer than me, really quick, which obviously motivated me to want to like play more. And then I went to a £10 casino to play, and I won that as well when I went there for the first time for like, grand, and I'd never had a grand. And it was like, I was quite fortunate that, you know, I got success early, because it really gave me the bug, and realized that then I saw the potential and the opportunity it was to make money. So it was like, I was so motivated after having that early success in poker. Whereas, you know, if I'd have lost, you know, my first 10 times, I might have given up. So it's like, that was quite fortunate as well. But on the other hand, I did really enjoy playing as well. And it kind of just went from there.
Right. So what's different now in your day-to-day life, a few years on from your start of poker at 18 and following into it? Like, how does your day as a professional different from when you were first getting into the game then?
Yeah. So I didn't answer the last question either. So the difference between football and poker as well is, it's quite difficult. So when you're in a team, like, you want to do everything for everyone else. You win together, you lose together. When you're on a poker table, you're trying to get the other guy's money. It's a bit weird. And like, I struggled sometimes with that kind of like ruthlessness. With you get chatting to a guy at the table, hey, how you doing, blah blah blah, and and you're speaking to him, and then next thing you know, you're trying to get his chips. It was a bit weird for me to change the way I thought in that respect. Like, the person I am away from the table is quite, honest and can't do enough for other people, basically. And then the person on the table is like, you can't really be honest in that person, because you're going to give stuff away, and you need to. So it took me quite a while to figure out that you need to be more closed off and figure out, be more calculated, and be also like really try and get the other person's chips.
Do you ever let off today? Like, do you ever ease off at times in a poker game? Do you ever take the foot off the gas or size your bet down against an opponent?
So when I'm playing, do I basically just don't take every spot against certain people? Yeah, I'm always doing this.
Yeah.
So when I basically was trying to climb the ladder, because I was obsessed with trying to get to like the top of the game. Basically, I wanted to like be one of the best in the world, and I kept on pushing towards it for years. And this was like a big drive for me. And basically, I was basically just constantly battling with all the pros, and I would never give off anything, never let off, to take every single spot I saw. But now, if I'm honest, like, I'm never trying 100% when I'm playing it in my games, basically, because I don't enjoy it as much. It's quite mentally draining and tiring to just be fully focused in all the time watching, and it takes a lot of mental energy, like, to just always be focused trying to like take every single spot. And it's also just not enjoyable for the people when you're just bashing. Do you know what I mean? Right. Do you know what I mean? And just like literally check raise them every hand and put them double potting on every hand. It's like they don't enjoy it. People don't enjoy it more. And like, if I'm honest now, and I like to enjoy it. I like to play more hands than you're supposed to. I like to splash around and generally just not really trying 100%. Yeah, it's just I'm there to have fun a little bit more now and just treat it as something as a hobby, like enjoy. Like, I want to play the 9-5 suited. You know what I mean? I just want to play it, and I know I shouldn't play it, but like I want to play it 'cause it's fun and I enjoy playing hands. So yeah, so when I play my games, I'm never really trying too hard, but like yeah, but when I play like a high roller, that's sometimes the case. But if I play a big buy-in one, normally I'm trying my best. Right. When I say my best, I haven't been studying or doing any work on my game for years. So it's, you know, my best is still not my actual best what I could play because I'm not well studied. But yeah, you can't really give anything away in those high roller tournaments. You've got to go for every single spot and be fully dialed in, or you just basically don't have a chance.
I think that's such an interesting answer, because I expect if you pulled the online poker playing, you know, community, I bet like 95% would be like, no, foot on the gas. I take every single spot. But I find there's probably something to learn there, in that your career has spanned a long time and you've played some massive games and some massive tournaments and had huge success. So it's interesting to note that you measure yourself at times in these games. You know, I think that's really, really interesting. So
yeah, I mean, it's not like it's calculated. I just enjoy playing hands. Like, I've always been an aggressive player. And I like doing big bluffs. I like winning pots I'm not supposed to, and I just enjoy it. And quite frankly, like, I can't do that. Play that range of hands against good players. So I have no choice. If I want to play like hands I want to play and have fun and enjoy myself, and I'm not the most patient person when I'm sat at the table. So it's like, I just have to play in these games, or I just, you know, I just don't enjoy it. So it's like, I hate that you have to play tight ranges now in order to win, and it's just like something that I'm not interested in doing, basically.
Right. What's a day in the life for Sam Trickett? What's wake up to bedtime? What are you doing?
I wake up all different random times. Yeah, I have breakfast with my wife. We walk the dogs. We've got like some like a golf course that leads on, and then like some woods, nice woods with a big lake, and we walk the dogs there. That's really nice. One of my favorite things to do in the world, to be fair, just like watching my dog sprint around, and really happy. Yeah, it's just like quite therapeutic as well. And sometimes with this life, it's like so 100 mile an hour once you get, you know, on the table. And sometimes when you step away from the table, you're still charged up thinking about hands and analysing. So it's like, I like to try and get as much of that downtime as I can away from poker. Otherwise, it just becomes a bit of a draining job. And so I just like to live just as like a pretty normal life. Especially at the minute I do anyway. But like, obviously I was living in Ibiza last year. That was really nice. I like nice restaurants. I like to go to dinner with like lots of my friends, and I also like to have friends come and stay over for like 2-3 days. This is like the time that I value the most, spending with people. Just like get closer relationships, build things, and you just, you know, where you just chat to someone on the phone, or you see them here and there, you just have like 5-minute conversation and like a literal general catch up, like how's the wife, how's the kids, blah blah blah, and then it's just like kind of boring to me, if I'm honest. Like, I know they're fine, I know what they're going to say. It's like, so I like spending time with people where I can have like deep conversations, try and learn a little bit off each other, help each other grow, and yeah, so I just try and stay in touch with all my close friends and family, and spend more time with, you know, people when I'm back home.
Right. Are you in London now?
Yeah, I'm living in London. Yeah, so because Mika's pregnant, and that was the plan. I don't know if you know, I've just told, I've just announced on Twitter that Mika's pregnant.
Amazing, congratulations.
Yeah, so that was a long time coming. We was trying a bit. We had some disappointing times along the way, like a miscarriage and stuff, which was like a bit heart-wrenching. And it's but we finally got there, and we did a 3-month scan just today, actually. So we've just come back from the scan. So we're really buzzing with that, and looking forward. yeah. So
How are you feeling? Are you nervous to be a dad? Like, how do you think life is going to change becoming a father? Or
well,
yeah.
yeah, all my life I've like, wanted to be a dad, and yeah, so it's something I'm like we've tried for. Mika's, feels the same as me. She just desperately wants to be a mother. So something we're really excited about. And like I said, the path wasn't easy to get here. So it's like we're finally not over the line yet, but we're as close to it as you can be now, being past 3 months. So it's we're really excited, and I'm excited for the challenge because like it's a different challenge as well. And like I'm quite excited to see how if I can do a good job of molding a human being into being a good person. And it's like I know it's difficult. Everyone tells me how difficult it is, but I love challenging myself and to put my time and effort into something that is going to be like my kid is because like and watch him grow up into an adult. It fascinates me, to be honest, to see what sort of person they're going to turn out to be. And I know it's going to be hard, but I kind of like doing the hard things in life. It's like even like say taking the bins out, like. I kind of like doing the dirty, normal, down to earth stuff because it just reminds you, like, where you come from and the whole like changing nappies thing. I quite look forward to and doing all that stuff that everyone else does and just let I think it's going to be fun. Like, and the whole sleepless night things that everyone moans about. I'm okay with that anyway because I'm always running on fumes and having late nights, so that doesn't really bother me too much. Like the whole lacking sleep. So yeah, I feel like I'm totally ready for it and. Yeah, just give me a little bit more routine in my life. And I know it's going to be hard. Everyone will be laughing at me right now saying, like, he'll have no idea. It's like a full-time job, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's like, what are you doing? You've got the best life ever. Don't do it. Like, just keep traveling around with your wife and enjoy yourself. Wait. And I'm like, no. So I'm hoping that everyone's wrong based and I'm right, which is probably a slim chance.
I've been talking with Jeff Gross, who also has a kid just recently, and I've been sharing the similar sentiments of like, holy smokes, this is insane. This is crazy, but I can't imagine the feeling. So huge congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Have you put in any? Speaking of sleep, have you put in any like marathon sessions? Like do you have any stories about like big long 24-hour plus type playing?
Yeah, so the only like super marathon sessions I did was back in Macau, back in 2013, 14, and I did some 24-hour and 30-hour sessions straight, which was kind of easy if I'm honest. It's easier than it sounds because people are like, how do you stay awake? Because when you play a game that big, your adrenaline's just going, and it's like, yeah, sometimes you might get tired, but then you just win a pot and you're like right back at it. It's like
how big was the game?
We played 10,000, 20,000 Hong Kong. And then it was like 40k straddle, so it was like the open raise was buying 120k, 140k. Wow. It was a big game, and and there was like 7-figure pots happening. So like you're not really going to get tired when there's action like that. yeah. So that was, and I played some other sessions that weren't as big a stakes, which has been hard and been difficult on my. But I just did my longest online session on Party Poker the other day. I did. What did I do? I did 28 hours online playing heads up at PLO versus 2 opponents. Yeah.
2 opponents heads up, 28 hours.
Yeah. So
how did you do that? That's never been done before. How could you possibly play 28 hours?
2 different guys. Like, I was exhausted, like playing these guys, and there were some big swings. And do you know what? I'll never do it again, because when you play, like, say 6-max, it's kind of easy. You're only in 20% of hands or something, 30% of hands, and but like heads up against a really good player as well, you're like literally having to focus every single hand. And I stepped away from the computer and I was just like, whoa. And it literally, I woke up the next day and it burnt my head out. And I was like, what the hell have I just done? Like,
30 minutes of heads up PLO is insane. Never mind 2 opponents, 28 hours.
Yeah, I know. So it was pretty intense. And I had to take 2 days off afterwards. I was like, what? Wow. But like I managed to book a decent win as well. So it was all worth it. If I'd have like lost after that session, it would have been a bad sleep. But and it was nice. Like I like the competitive aspect of playing good players. Like that's something kind of I miss sometimes. Like playing against the best players. Like it really brings out my best game and makes me work and makes me like find pots and look for exploits. Whereas I don't really do that anymore. Like I'm just playing ABC and just enjoying myself. But it's always challenging playing against the top players and you just see what your skill level is and, you know, how you're faring against these players. And it also improves you. Like, I recommend for people to play against the best players more often, to be honest. I don't think enough people do it these days. They just see it as like not an EV spot and, oh no, I'm not a favourite. But if you calculate like how much it improves you as a player, and it's the fastest way to learn, really, like in play, playing against another guy and learning. It's like, so I do it for that reason as well, just to try and improve, keep sharp in it. Also, I just enjoy it. Like, well, I'll never do it again because I was just knackered. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
That's the most insane answer I've ever had in this podcast. My mind's blown. I don't even know where to go from here. 28 hours of double heads up.
I felt a bit degenerate, if I'm honest.
I can't imagine, like, what's hour 25, man? Like, you're there 25 hours. You know you've been there for a whole day. Like, the sun has cycled, and you're still there. Like, I can't imagine it.
Well, that's crazy. The thing. Once it gets to, like, say, midday, and you're like, oh my God, I should have been asleep. What am I doing? You're like, well, there's no point going to sleep now because then, so I might as well just go till 10 o'clock at night and then sleep and get back on a normal routine. So that was kind of my thought process. And the truth is, the reason I play so long, because if I stepped away from the computer at midday, I would just pass out because I was too tired. So I needed the poker to like keep my adrenaline going, keep my focus. And time goes so quick when you're playing high stakes online heads up as well. So I was like, I didn't stand a chance of staying awake. So that was my logic. I was like, well, I need to get back on a normal routine where I wake up at the same time as live. So I might as well just power through. And I powered through, but I would never do it again because it really did take it out of me.
Jeez. That's incredible, man.
It did feel like a big degenerate. When I was laying there afterwards, I was like, "What are you doing with your life? Like, just playing unnecessarily for so long. You're like, the game's there tomorrow. What are you doing? I've never really done that stuff. But like, just sometimes you're in a game, you're enjoying it. You know, you're losing or you're winning. You just fancy you can, make money out of the game, and it just that whole competitive nature of like wanting to win as well was there the other night. So it was. It was fun. It was good fun.
So we've talked a little bit recently about Trickettl Room, and Rob Young's been teasing a little bit about Trickettl Room online. You have a room at Dusk Till Dawn in Nottingham, and named after you, and now the online version is coming. We don't really have any details. Like, could you give maybe like an overview of what Trickettl Room is going to be? I know you can't say everything, but
so I can give like a few teasers if you like. We're just basically building an exclusive VIP room to try and get players that aren't playing poker anymore, that used to play, but they basically just can't win anymore because the players and the standards just too good in the games. So we're trying to just create like a little exclusive room for VIP players to come back and play and enjoy themselves a little bit more, because it's quite sad really that, this bunch of businessmen out there that love poker, they want to play high stakes, but the truth is every time they sit down, they just get murdered. They never win. They have no chance. And it's just not enjoyable. And we just like with the way online poker is at the minute, we're just kind of like pushing all those people away from poker. And I think it's just terrible for the whole ecology of online poker is just bad if they're just getting burnt. So I'm just trying to think of a way for these players to play against each other, enjoy themselves a bit more. And we've got some new features coming, like some new updates. Can't say too much, but there's I can say that it's not going to be a totally closed off room basically. So people might say, they're just going to play amongst each other. We don't get to play with them. I'm pissed off. I want to play with them. So everyone will have like a fair opportunity to be able to play in these so-called exclusive games. So there'll be promotions on the site where if they rake a certain amount of hands that month, they get a 2-week ticket pass to play in the Trickettl Room, or if they have a certain VPIP over a certain amount of hands, they get to play in Trickett's games. Because right now it's like online poker, there's no high stakes anyway. All the players have left. They don't run. There's no games at all. There's only heads up people sitting around waiting, and just aren't generally for the site anyway because they're not playing. And so I wanted to create like a game at the top of the tree, basically, where people can aspire to get to. So the people in the lower stakes can say, I want to get in that game. I'm going to work really hard on the game and climb up the stakes to get there. And what do I need to do to get there? And it like kind of turns it into a bit of a game again. Like, it's fun to try and climb and get somewhere and achieve things and work hard in order to get into the better spots. And right now it's the other way around, where like the higher you climb, the harder the players get. So there's no real incentive. So I'm just trying to create like a little bit of a tree, if you like, where if you climb it up, you get, to the top of the tree and you get to play in the better games. And yeah, so we're just going to be trying to get all my old friends, people that have played online before, to come back and play. Let them play amongst each other. They know who they're playing. They trust each other. They already have relationships, and it's we have some other features coming to make it more of a social aspect. Like I said, I can't say too much. I'm not exactly sure of the date yet because we're just still working on the software. But there's going to be like some new cool features that I'm really excited about, and just trying to do everything I can to get high stakes games going back online, basically.
That's great. I think you're right, because tournaments have that aspirational model of the dream of, like, banking a big title or a big event.
Yeah.
And I do remember, the full tilt poker high stakes heaven days. Like, those are just gone. The idea of being able to get into these huge games. Yeah. It's disappeared.
That was for me when I first started on full tilt. I remember sitting playing 25, 50 cap PLO. I was probably underrolled for that anyway, but I wanted to play in that big game with, Phil Galfond and Tom Dwan and all against those guys. And it was a juicy game as well. And I was like, I want to get in there. So I'd work really hard and take shots in these games to eventually get enough money to play in there. And we're missing that right now with poker. There's no like end game or golden game to get into if you work hard. So I just want to try and replicate that a little bit. And also just protect businessmen from playing like this. It's nice for them to go and play and just lose less, or lose less often, or basically win against each other, and they know they're not losing it to some like 19-year-old wizard, from Belarus. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it just feels nicer when they know it's against another businessman and they didn't basically burn the money. Because no one I think people don't mind losing and they just get enjoyment out of it, but they just feel stupid when you're just playing against some studied pro wizard, and it's like, it wasn't enjoyable. He didn't have any easy decisions, and it was just, so I just want to try and make games good again for the high stakes players.
Right. I think it's a great plan. I hope it succeeds, man. I hope it crushes. Like, I'd love to rail these big games again. Like, I couldn't imagine. So
yeah, we're going to have some stream games as well. So basically, some games will be closed off and some won't, but like, there's going to be some stream games with whole cards face up. So basically, when people log on to Rail, they can see the whole cards what everyone's playing, which has never been done online, I don't think. And so Joey Ingram's going to stream it, and we're going to have some big names on there. Patrick Antonius, Tom Dwan said he'll play. Rob will play. And maybe we'll get some others. I'm not sure yet because we're not spoke about lineup just yet. But that'll be an idea of who's going to play. So there'll be every couple of months we'll have this big feature game for stream games as well, which is quite cool to watch.
Perfect. I think it's great. So let's talk a little bit about tournaments here. I'm a tournament fish over here. So I need to get 5 minutes of tournaments in every show. Recently, you won Super High Roller Series 25K in March at Sochi. You won the PowerFest 5K PLO Super High Roller this week as well. So what's up with tournaments? Like, any fire inside you to get on the tournament grind?
Do you know what's funny? My last 5 tournaments, I got first, second, first, and fifth, and but I don't really play them. But it's like, because to be honest, I play the high rollers when I do play tournaments normally, and I just felt like I only wanted to play them if I was well studied and up to date and did a bit more work than I need to do, because I feel a little rusty and no limit, if I'm honest. My 2 results online this week came in PLO because I only played 3 events on the PowerFest, if I'm honest. I played the main event, the million guaranteed, and I played the 2 5K events. PLO, because my PLO is better than my no limit at the minute. But I haven't really got an urge to get back into the whole tourney grind, if I'm honest. Like, I do enjoy the odd high roller or the bigger buy-in tournaments because it makes me focus when the buy-in's bigger, and I really try and I really go after every spot like we were speaking about before. And when I'm playing like, 5K or 10K, I just can't seem to bring that level of focus to play my A game. So I don't enjoy it as much. So I doubt I'll ever be going down the tournament circuit grind again. I've done that once before. and I enjoyed it and I loved it, and it was like, I literally wanted to play every event, but like, I doubt I'll be doing it again. I'll just play from a few here from time to time, but there is no better feeling than winning a tournament. No, that's the one thing. Like, you win a large amount in a cash game, it's just not as enjoyable as winning a tournament. So I do every now and then like to, play one, hopefully get a deep run. And, it was really nice to win the Party Poker 25K out in Sochi. So it's just that feeling of triumph that you can't really get from cash games.
Right. I wanted to ask your advice on travel a little bit because you did travel the tournament circuit. You've played in a lot of big cash games around the world. So I wanted to ask, what's your favorite poker trip that you've been on first, and then second, if you could pick anywhere in the world to go to on a vacation or to hang out, where would you choose?
Okay, so best poker trip. I like to put Artouche. Like, I'm not sure it's my definite response because I was just thinking, like, the first one that came to my mind was Partouche because I won the event and it was a main event and it was like all my friends was there and it was just like we hung out every night, spent some time. When I went deep with my friend as well, and it was, he just missed out on the final, so it's always nice to run deep with your friend. And then obviously I won it too, so that was a nice event, a nice location as well. But yeah, I like Vegas as well. I hate Rio playing there, but I kind of like Vegas in terms of the nice restaurants and there's lots of options for doing stuff. Yeah, so I'd have to go with Partouche for now. And favorite place to, what did you say, to go on holiday?
Vacation, yeah, or spend some time like in life.
I like Ibiza. Yeah, so basically I'd say Burning Man if you say vacation, because it's like my favorite thing to do out of anything I've ever done ever by a long way. But like Ibiza is my favorite place to live. I live there. The people are super laid back. No one's money orientated. Everyone's there just to have a good time and just enjoy life and not take life too seriously. And I'm a little bit like that. The weather's really good. The restaurants are really good. It's got nice beaches and it's got everything I want from a place basically. And it's only 2 hours away as well, so it's super simple. So yeah, Ibiza.
Right. Do you think you'll split time in your life between Ibiza and like the UK?
Yeah, that's the actual plan. If I'm honest, I want to buy a place in Ibiza. And then have a place in London as well, and just kind of like go back and forth depending what I've been up to and what I fancy. But like I'd like to spend summers in Ibiza maybe, and or even like the winter here is terrible, so I'd maybe go to Ibiza there where it's a little bit warmer and wear shorts and t-shirts because I just don't like the English weather. That's like, it really lets down. Like England in the summer's brilliant, fantastic, I love it. But in the when it gets around from November until February, it's pitch black, and you wake up at 4. It's pitch black at 4 o'clock at night. I don't know. There's something about it. It's hard to start the day well when you wake up and it's pitch black and raining and freezing cold.
I've been in Edinburgh this year, and honestly, it's like a pretty nice change from Canada, where it's like -10 starting in November, and it's just always going to be -10 for 5 months. So I've enjoyed it, but I'm with you in that. Like, why do you have to do this? Why do you have to live in bad weather? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, my wife, I want to live in Ibiza. It's up to me right now. I'd move to Ibiza, but my wife wants to live in London, especially with having a baby. She wants to be around a family and a friend and have relationships with the baby. So, which is fair enough. She's got a good point. So we have to prioritize that. But like, I mean, I was my happiest when I was in Ibiza, but it's you've just got to look at what's most important to you. And let's be honest, my wife isn't. I haven't really got a choice. I'll do as I'm told.
Last question on the Burning Man you touched on here. I've never been to Burning Man. It seems like a lot of poker players are interested. Is Burning Man for everyone? Everyone out there listening, can they get something out of it?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I see kids going, I see older people going, all different age groups, and there is something for everyone. Like, it's literally got absolutely everything you could ever think of you'd want to do outside of like work. Do you know what I mean? It's like Disneyland for adults. Like, it's just everything. Like, whether it's like, they're like Gladiators. When we used to watch Gladiators when I was a kid, and they have those like things and those like travelators that you run up and stuff. It's got things like that. Like, it's just walk around, like, go on there. Then there's like a big slide, and then there's like roller disco, and it's just got loads of different things like this that you just go around on your push bike. Takes you back to when you're a kid, and you're just basically going out with no plans whatsoever and just stopping off and doing whatever you want. I might stay here for a game of Blocko, or I might go play football here. It's just quite nice floating around on your push bike. No phones work, so you're not able to be contacted or distracted. It makes you totally present now because you haven't got a phone to distract you, which is rare now. You can replicate that situation because conversations can only get so deep now because everyone's just on their phone all the time and everyone's distracted. But like there, you're kind of like forced to communicate with other people, and money doesn't exist there, so there's no status. Everyone's equal. Everyone looks at ego goes out the window because there's no way of showing off, and it's just nice to be around people where this, ego doesn't exist and money doesn't matter, and people are just being generally the best version of themselves because they're quite happy. And for me, it's like an actual holiday because, like, when I go on holiday now, I've still got work on my phone. I've still got things to stay on top of, and you lay by the pool, you get bored, go on the phone, and it's just like, but there, you have no choice, and it's like you're just totally free, and you somehow just shut off from the outside world. Like, you're not really thinking about what you've got to do at all because you can't do anything about it if you want to. So it's just quite nice to just have like an actual break from.
It does sound really nice. It sounds like an escape that we try and get from our phone, but we don't.
So hard, like so hard, like, and I understand because phones are great and you can do everything off them, and without the phone, it'd be terrible now because it'd be difficult to get everything done. But on the other hand, it does take a lot of your time up. Like, imagine if you look at the average screen time, of young people in England, it must be 8 hours a day or something. Yeah. So it's quite nice. I just like being present in the moment and having deep conversations and being with close friends and family and having a good time and like not really having too much things to worry about. No responsibility is a big one. You've got no responsibility whatsoever. You just do whatever you want. Yeah, so it's cool. I'd recommend it to anyone basically to go. Like, I basically didn't want to go, and Antonio Spandiari kept saying, "You have to go, Burning Man. You have to go, Burning Man." I was like, "I don't want to go. It's not for me." He said, "You have to go," and he said, "I'll pay for you to go," which was like $3 grand. I was like, "What do you mean you pay for me to go?" I was like, "Why do you want me to go so much?" He's like, "You're just going to love it." And I'm like, "I wouldn't. I don't like sand and stuff. I want my own bed. I want to have a shower." And he's like, "Trust me." And then it got to the point where I just went, "You know what? I'm just going to take his advice." And my opinion was I wasn't going to like it. So I didn't get prepared or do any research. I was going there with like, "All right, I'll take advice." Because I trust his judgment over my own. I thought I'll take a chance on him. Then I went there, and basically everyone has all these funny outfits on, right? And they make all this effort into doing outfits and giving things to other people and prepare things. I've turned up in like a Nike tracksuit with my hat back, like no outfits whatsoever. I was like, whatever. I've gone out and there's like 80,000 people that made all these efforts into these fancy costumes like that, and I was stood there. I actually had my white socks tucked into my Nike joggers because I was cycling. I didn't want it to like catch my chain. So I looked like the biggest chav. And in that moment, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm that guy out of 80,000 people. I'm the guy that didn't get the memo." Like, I was like, literally felt like the biggest dweeb ever. So it was quite funny in a way, but like, it was actually the best thing that I ever did. So I owe Antonio one for that because it really did change my life. And I know a lot of people say that about Burning Man, and people laugh and say, they're just saying it. But it really did. It just teaches you like basic principles and reminds you of like the power of giving and doing things for other people. Like, no benefit as well. You're just actually doing it to make someone else happy and improve their life. Not to like, because it makes you feel good. You do it for other people because it's nice to make other people happy, and it's really rewarding as well. And it's just, but not enough people do that. People get selfish, get obsessed with money, and I think money is just valued way too high in society at the minute, and it's quite nice to be reminded it's not important. All that's important is just being around friends and having a good time and being a good person, basically.
Right. I love it. Sam, I really appreciate you taking the time today. I find your poker journey really inspiring. I think a lot of people will learn from it, and I mean, man, 28 hours, 2 tables. Wild. I can't believe it.
I don't know if I'm proud of that or not. Like, made me feel a bit dirty, if I'm honest. Like, well, I'm a DJ. I'm not a professional poker player. I'm a degenerate. So I have to check myself the next day. But it's hard to poker.
I appreciate it.
DJing everyone. Look on. Yeah.
Cheers, man. So thanks for taking the time. We'll get you back on at some point in the future when Trickettl Room is bumping. We'll follow up, but you have a good time. Stay safe. Congrats on the kid on the way. Amazing time.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
Cheers.
Take care. Yeah.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
See you.
And that's it for me this week. Thank you all so much for taking the time and listening in. If you're enjoying the podcast, you can always rate on iTunes or Spotify. Subscribe. That helps us get the word out about the show. If you're on YouTube, drop a subscribe. That would be great also. Hope you're all staying safe and happy out there, and doing your best in the circumstances that life gives us at this moment. I'm doing my best as well to just stay healthy and happy and positive. So all the best to all of you. But until next week, we'll see you later.